What is going on, everybody? And happy Thanksgiving for those of you that are already past the 10 o'clock mark. The setup looks a little bit different today. There we go. Now I can see this chat. How you doing, Mr. Camera Junkie? Zach Gray. Cheers to those of you that are joining me, and cheers to those of you that are not. Everybody gets to have fun on the stream. So let me know if you guys can hear me okay, because I seem to have consistent issues setting up my live streams. But I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. And today, of course, the setup looks a little bit different. I can do that because my desk is on wheels, which is super handy. And so I got the camera behind me over there. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what lighting we're using today. Thank you, Mr. Camera Junkie. Appreciate that. Probably turn it up a little bit, actually. There we go. So today, we have behind me, we've got the Aperture 300X. That is running on a couple of V-mount batteries. And then we have the Aperture Nova behind me doing the little flicker fire. That's running, of course, powered into an AC outlet. And then for my hair light, I've got the Aperture MC. And for my key light, I have just the little Nanlite Pavo tube. This little guy right here. Here we go. That's it. Real simple. I wanted to point out a little bit, a couple things today that, like, you don't need to buy huge, super expensive lights to have amazing lighting. I mean, I like this really dramatic kind of look here. And so, I mean, my key light is pocket lights, right? I've got two pocket lights, just the MC for my hair, and then the little $70, $80 Nanlite Pavo tube. And that's they're both full color lights. They're both pocket lights. So I just thought that was interesting. Thank you, Will. You like the setup. Zach, Gray, gotta go. Mom's in the hospital. Man, well, I hope she's okay. Thanks for stopping by. Best wishes. Sorry to hear that. Josh Haynes, look at the Fireplace Nova. Thank you. Josh Haynes. Thanks for showing up, man. And let's get into this. So I got the slider back there so I can show you the key light setup. Of course, just the two lights here. Easy. I get bored of doing the same setup all the time. And so I feel like I just need to move stuff around sometimes. I don't know if you guys feel that way ever. We're still drinking the monkey shoulder. And I have the iPad here because I want to play a little bit with my lighting and show you guys some of the stuff on the Sidus link, because now that the Aperture 600D is announced for pre-order, and I don't have a link for it or anything, you'll just have to go find that. But Sidus Link is getting really, really interesting now that all these new lights are showing up. And if you haven't used Sidus Link already, it's crazy powerful. Let's see. I'm going to go back to my A cam. So I can turn the Nova way up real easy, turn it down, I can swap around. The color's pretty super simple. This is the iPad version, and you have to pay $10 for it, but it's super handy. I think there we go. Look at that. Let's go with a little bit of blue. And let's go back to the effects. I just really like it. There we go. I think I need to turn. How do I? Oh, start. There we are. So that's. I mean, how easy is that, right? It just. Oh, dude, you guys. Oh, man. So I'm not used to showing people the iPad. So while I was playing with this and moving stuff around, you guys weren't seeing it. That's not cool. All right. Well, you can see that, right? The whole room gets brighter. That's kind of fun. Well. Yeah, I don't know. So the 600D came out, and then I got the 300X over here, and then there's the 300D Mark II. Those use Sidus Link. The Aperture MC uses Sidus Link. I've got that one hooked up already. So I turn it off. You can see this is what a hair light does, and why I always recommend everyone use a hair light. So I have it turned off now. You turn it on, it just kind of gives you that extra pop, and actually it should be a little bit further. Here we are. Let's do this. Let's get a little bit closer. There we are. I always recommend, I love using a hair light. I think it looks great. Maybe a little too bright there. There we go, just like that. But hair light, boom. Well, it's kind of, it should really be a little bit further, but this C-stand was the wrong thing to use for this stream. I set it up really last minute, like always, and I just kind of threw all this stuff together, and so here we are. It happens. All right, let's get into some of these comments and see how you guys are doing today. I'm just excited that Aperture's ecosystem is getting super mature with all of their lights. Its Sidus Link is like a no-brainer now, just to have it with all your lights. And I know that they're coming out with more lights soon. If you're getting invested into an ecosystem of lights today, Aperture with the Sidus Link, and you have an iPad that you just aren't using. I happened to have an iPad Pro that I just never used, and then I realized that I could use that as my light controller for Aperture stuff. So I'm going to keep using that. I think it's super handy. Jake Sloan, thanks for happening, or thanks for showing up here. Josh Haynes, waiting for my 600D review. Yeah, that's a cool light, man. I don't have one on hand, but I need to. I was waiting for an affiliate check to come in so I could place the pre-order, because the way I run my channel is all the money that I make through my channel, I put it back into the channel. I recently spent all the money my channel made, plus all the money that I made through selling some of the stuff that I no longer was reviewing. And so I spent all that money on the Red Komodo, the Sony a7S III lenses, some Cine lenses, because I want to compare those against so this is the GH5 over here, which has been my main camera for so long, and I want to compare all those cameras to the GH5 and see if you had a budget for a new camera, if you instead spent that budget on lights, how much better of the image quality could you get by buying lights, or instead just going and buying a camera. So I'm low on budget now, but I can place the pre-order probably at the end of the month. That's how I run my channel. It's a hobby. It's not allowed to dip into my personal finances. Thanks for showing up, Jake, and talking about my impeccable lighting. Super handy. Nils, whoosh. Yeah, sorry for being late tonight, guys. It's sometimes it just runs late. Too shiny. This angle throws me off. Yeah, I mixed up the angles a little bit. I was thinking about getting LASIK again, by the way, because lighting with glasses can sometimes be a pain in the ass. I don't know if you guys. I never have reflections in my glasses, but I'm always trying to light for it. But I had LASIK like 10 years ago, and it wore off after 5 years. So I need to get it again because, glasses are just such a pain in the butt. This is really just all over the place. Jack of all trades. Oh, thanks, Nils. Appreciate it. Josh Haynes, I'm just here to learn audio. I'm on the right stream for this, correct? Yeah, dude. Audio is super important. Let's talk a little bit about my audio setup. So in this right here, this whole setup that I'm using right now, this is it's a Synco mic D2 or D3. It's their shotgun microphone, and I have it plugged into my MixPre 3. I don't have the foam cover on it because it mutes it too much, but without the foam cover, it sounds almost identical to the MKH 416. You just have to be careful with all the plosives. But anyways, I have it going into the MixPre 3 version 1 because so I have the MixPre 3 version 2. I only use that for actual recording. For my live streams, I always use the MixPre 3 version 1 because on the version 2, I use the noise assist plugin constantly for everything. And when you're using the noise assist plugin, it's fun. Actually, that's not the reason why. It's because I record in 32-bit. When you're recording in 32-bit, it disables the hardware limiters. So because you can just recover all the audio in post. But on the version 1, it doesn't have 32-bit. It's always in 24-bit mode. But that also enables their crazy hardware limiters. So no matter how loud you talk into the mic or how quiet you talk into the mic, with the limiters, it adjusts the levels appropriately and really effectively. So it's not going to clip on a stream. But if you're putting 32-bit audio into a live stream, it's not going to process it, and it's just going to clip because it's not pre-processing your 32-bit audio. So that's why I use the MixPre 3 version 1, and then I pipe that into the Atom Mini Pro, the first audio slot. That's kind of what my audio setup is for this little stream here. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming to the stream. Dope angle. You mean this one here? With so this is the 300X there. Watch this. Oh, I need to attach the 300X to my Sidus link. Let's do that now. So I need to add a fixture. Let's go to fixtures. I'm going to add a fixture. New fixtures. Fixture with screen. Okay, so I need to go to the 300X and reset it. Okay. Hang on, guys. There we go. All right, so I did the BT reset, and there we go. I can find the 300X now. Set up. Now we just, here we go. Wait a second. There we go. Set it up. Okay. And now we've got the 300X over here behind me. And you'll see me get really, really bright here in a second. I think. Oh, that's the Nova. There we are. Now we're kicking with gas. Whee! All right, so I really, really like this. So now let's go back to this angle here. And in studio mode, the console mode, I don't know if you guys have played with this. So I've got all my 3 lights right here. We've got the Nova. We've got the MC. And then we've got the 300X. And you can turn them all on and off, I guess. I think so. No, maybe not. I still need to get, oh, here we go, all fixtures. That's so cool. All right, so I really, really like Sidus Link. I used to not use it at all because I thought that having to connect with like an app was like super annoying. But I found that Sidus Link, when paired with an iPad, like as a dedicated device, is really, really, really handy. Console. So let's get over here. I need to configure this. Oh yeah, source match. I don't need to do that. White. CCT. There we go. Perfect. Oh, and you can do this whole program. So I don't have this program set up, but you can use this to like create animations and stuff. I'm still kind of a noob. All right. Cinco has some solid stuff. Thanks, Josh Haynes. Yeah, they really do. The mic sounds really nice. Sidus Link on iPad looks even more convenient. It is. I need to get better at using all the controls more consistently, but I really like it. Then we got Chris Coveries. Question: How does a maker send you products to review? So what do you mean by a maker? Like a company that makes products, or like a creator that is trying to make products? Because I mean, I'm happy to take a look at your product if you're a creator, whatever. If you mean like companies, so a light maker. Okay. So if a company makes lights, first off, think about if you were a company that made lights. Hey, Curtis, thanks for showing up. So if you were a company that and you produce lights, right? And you're done. Like you finally have your production model, and you want to market it. What's the first thing you're probably going to want to do is you're going to want to send it to a creator, a YouTuber, someone who can get the word out, right? Well, you're probably going to go to YouTube or Google and search for, lighting reviews, powerful LED light. And then you're going to find the top videos that are reviewing those lights, and you might reach out to those creators. I'm a lot of those videos now. When I first got started, I didn't have companies just automatically send me stuff. I had to buy a couple lights myself. I invested money in them and I reviewed them. And I, just did my best. And I was still new. It was still a hobby. But initially did take a little bit of an investment, which was I bought a Godox SL60, and then I saved up a little bit more, bought the Aperture 120T, used both off Craigslist. The Aperture was used off Craigslist. Godox had just come out because I couldn't afford the Aperture. I found Godox. I reviewed those. So now when companies search for lighting reviews, they find me, they find Curtis Judd, and a couple others. And now they just get in touch with us and ask if we can review their lights. That happens sometimes. Actually, that happens pretty often. And that would happen for you in your niche too. Suppose I use this example always just because it's simple, but suppose you reviewed kayaks, right? You were an outdoorsy person. You liked to go kayaking all the time. That was your hobby. And you just, every time, you reviewed kayak. You reviewed like your friend's kayak. You reviewed your kayak. Now, the next time you wanted a kayak, if a company, they're not really really good at marketing or whatever, and they're not searching for, kayak reviews or whatever, but you reach out to that company and you say, hey, I want to review your kayak. These are a couple of other type of videos that I've created reviewing kayaks. Can you send me your kayak? I want to make a review. They'll probably do it, and you'll get to keep the kayak because that's just kind of how that works. That goes into kind of the ethics of creators and business on YouTube that I like to teach everyone. If you are spending a lot of your time creating videos and they're of any quality, you should be compensated for your time, whether it's through the equipment that you spent 40 hours learning about or more, or through money, right? Like you should be paid for your time. So whenever a company offers to send you something, and you're going to review it, say you want to keep it, because what happens if someone has a question about that product after you're done with the video and you've already sent it back? You can't answer the question. It just doesn't make any sense. Don't ever send anything back. That's like the scummiest way to treat a creator. And I don't like to see creators get taken advantage of. So that's kind of how I consider YouTube. A couple questions. Greetings from the Dominican Republic. Thanks for showing up, Los Tyrannus. I think I said that right. Patrick Rambles. Hi, Tommy. I can't watch the whole thing. I just want to let you know I love your content. I recently bought the Godox ML60 based on your video, and I love it so much. I ordered a second one. Thank you. Well, thank you, Patrick. Thanks for showing up. I'm glad the Godox ML60 is treating you well. I still have a Godox ML60 in the softbox. That's an awesome light. Solid light. Yes, Nils, the iPad is dirty. Don't worry about it. Okay? We're good. Yes, this is the Rhino Arc 2 angle. Not Aperture, Godox. Chris Covery's like a smaller light maker who's getting going. Yeah, I think I went over that pretty well. They would just reach out to creators that make videos on lights and, shoot out a whole bunch of emails probably, and people like me would likely review them. Robert Mikado. I still think I'm pronouncing that wrong, but that's okay. How's that Komodo treating you? Well, I'll let you know in December when it gets here. I think that mine is scheduled to arrive beginning to mid-December. Yes, Tommy, how are you feeling about that Komodo after a few weeks with it? Yeah, like I said. Well, I really love looking at the paper that says pre-order on it. I tried filming with it, but everything was just, I couldn't get the media off of the paper and into the computer. But, lots of imaginary shots so far. Yeah, probably spending time learning with the A7S III. Yes, so this is the A7S III angle. I bet you if I look back at it, it's going to focus on my face. I don't know. It might. That's crazy, right? A7S III, killer camera. So yeah, it's on the B duty back there. This is the GH5 today. That's why I got the A7S III. It's because that freaking autofocus that does a better job than any human could possibly do, myself included. And that's coming from the GH5, which I haven't used autofocus on a GH5 since years ago. I think I broke something. That's fine. Cutaway is giving me deep golden hour vibes. I like it. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it. Yeah. That's what this whole today is about. It's Thanksgiving, golden hour, friends and family time. Let's get this iPad out of here. It's so dirty. There you go. You can just kind of see the monkey shoulder over there. Boom. Golden hour. Thanks, Curtis. Yeah, I have another A7S III coming soon, whenever it ships, and the Laowa 24mm probe lens. I'm going to use that probe lens with the MC11 adapter to the A7S III, and I'm going to compare it against the Komodo and see which one works better in extreme low light scenarios. Meaning I'm the person probably with more lights than most people on YouTube, so I should be able to light a scene at f40 a lot better than anyone else on YouTube. So I'm going to try and do that. And I think that the A7S III is going to perform significantly better than the Red Komodo in a situation like that. I'm also really interested in the probe lens in particular with the here we go, Rhino Arc II slider, because of the size of the lens and the relative motion that it will create when it's moving. Because, so here's the lens, right? It's like this. If you have a movement like this, like that's just a tripod movement, right? That's so much motion at 24mm on a macro. But if you have actual motion going like way all over the place, like what you can perform with the Rhino slider, it's a lot of motion. So I want to use it with that exclusively because of the amount of motion that it can create, which is an extremely interesting concept for something like the probe lens. On top of that, I'll be able to light it appropriately. So it seems really, really interesting to me. And also you got to get those clicks. So, Komodo versus A7S III versus iPhone, you got to do it, right? So I'm looking forward to that. Nils, I'm going to be probing equipment. I'll probably stick it in some lights. We'll see what happens. Will Roy Media, I want to get the 600D to review on my channel, but I'm an unemployed YouTuber. So you have a business. Yes, unemployed YouTuber. Well, you have a lot of time to create. I hope you're taking advantage of this time. I have very limited time to create right now, and I hope that the new year has more time available for me. Yeah, if I didn't have any jobs though, I would probably be investing more of the YouTube money into my bills. So having a YouTube hobby and treating it like a business affords you a lot of leeway into buying equipment to review for your channel when a company is not going to want to sponsor it for you. Of course, if there's something that I'm really interested in, I will reach out to the companies and see if I can get it out here onto the channel so I can talk about it for you guys. But if I can't, like the Red Komodo or the Sony A7S III, then I have to buy it. And so, I mean, that's when you have a full-time job and it, your YouTube channel is completely separate, it's not affecting your financial livelihood at all. The money adds up really quick, just a few $100 a month. And if that's just from AdSense. And then if you have any knowledge about affiliate marketing, if you want to learn about affiliate marketing, just ask me, send me a message on Twitter. Happy to teach you how to do it effectively. Past few months, YouTube AdSense has paid me between $400 and $600 a month. Affiliate marketing has paid me between $2,000 and $2,500 a month. Sponsorships, another roughly $1,000 to $1,500 a month. And then I sold some equipment which I wasn't using, that I had already reviewed and already done all the content that I wanted to create with it. And that was $15,000. That's how I bought the Red Komodo. That's how I bought the Sony a7S III. If you review equipment and there's money in the equipment, right? That's the thing about reviewing lights, guys. Okay, so that's first off, the problem about being the person that reviews lights. Nobody cares about lights unless they already know that they need to care about lights. When I do a video review of the Lupo Super Panel Full Color 60, nobody's ever searched for that, right? Unless they already knew what that was. The most powerful, super expensive cinema light, even that, nobody's looking for it. They're looking for the best camera, whether their iPhone is as good as it, and how to color grade it. Nobody searches for lights, right? It's very hard to make a video that gets a lot of views about lights. So reviewing expensive lights is a very interesting niche because one, nobody's looking for them. Two, a lot of big YouTubers aren't reaching out to these companies to try and review their lights because they know that those videos are not going to get any views. So when a person who's already reviewed a bunch of lights and has an audience that is interested in lighting reaches out to a company that makes lights, it's like a match made in heaven. And of course they want to send it out to me because it's the best way for their audience to learn about that light. It's easy. Now, hardly anybody buys expensive lights off of an affiliate link. Usually they're watching those videos to see if they should rent it or if they should have their buyer go place a large order. They don't watch a video and then click a link to Amazon and buy a $6,000 light. That simply does not happen. So when you review an expensive light, the value you get out of reviewing and learning about that light is one of the most valuable tools you can have as a creator, which is a very expensive light. But also you have the value of that light. So when that piece of equipment retires from your workflow, you can then reinvest the money that light has back into your channel. Now, $1 is, 500 views. So like 1,000 views, a couple bucks, a $1,000 light, that's a lot of views. So you're trading getting a lot of views and a lot of affiliate revenue for the piece of equipment. And that's how I've always kind of considered it. And that's kind of what has made sense to me in this niche, instead of like dumping over earlier to like comparing phones and cameras and super duper color grading tutorials. It's a dry niche sometimes. You take the light meter, you put it in front of the thing at a meter away, and you talk about the metrics, try and make it exciting, put some music in there, learn about affiliate marketing. But that's what it is. Anyone can dominate this niche if they're creative. I just do it because only about 3 or 4 people are doing it. Curtis is probably he's the guy that I go to when I want to learn about a light, right? He does awesome stuff about how to use the light, right? Watch go subscribe to Curtis Judd if you don't know about him and you want to learn how to be a better filmmaker. He's got 2 channels. One's Curtis Judd and 2 is like audio with Curtis Judd, which is funny because he covers audio on both his channel and his other channel, but you'll learn so much about it. And let's go watch his videos. Robert says, my master plan is to keep banking YouTube money until I can buy something ridiculous like a Venice. It's much easier when YouTube is just a side thing. Damn straight it is. Akshay, I think. Lol, work from home has its pros. I get to watch this stream. Well, hey, thanks for watching me while you work. Seeing lighting with Ant-Man's eyes. Nice. Crazy color shift, but neat lens. Oh, yeah. The probe lens. Gotcha. Will Roy says, are you using a speed booster or are you using an M4.3 lens on the GH5? So I'm going up in the comments. I'm going totally out of order here. This is the GH5 with the Sigma 18-35 and the Viltrox EFM2. I think I was like the first person to review that speed booster as well. Again, I bought that speed booster because it was cheap and nobody had reviewed it yet. So that's that. And I'll be using this Sigma 18-35 on the Red Komodo when it gets here because it's just that good of a lens. I think if you're investing in lenses, the Sigma 18-35 is one of the best pieces of glass that you can possibly buy for the money. Robert, I got away with a single sky panel when I used the probe. You should have plenty of light. Well, hell yeah, because I have my RGB showdown coming up, and we've got the Rotolight Titan X1 on the way to the studio too. It's going to be here mid-December. I'm going to review that one, and then I have the huge showdown against the Velvet Light Evo 1, the Rotolight Titan X1, the Aperture Nova, the Falconized DS811, both Lupo Super Panel Full Color 30s, and of course the cheapo GVM light, just for, to see what the cheap one can do against all those big boys. But that's this huge huge video event, RGBWW 1x1 showdown that I wanted to do for a long time, but I've been waiting for Rotolight to get theirs in there. I'm not including the sky panel in that one because it is only an RGBW panel, and in my opinion, it is retired. It's priced out and retired equipment. I would not buy a sky panel today. Curtis says, the Lupo lights are amazing. I'm always disappointed when the Lupo review videos I do sort of fizzle. That's the thing, that's just what I'm talking about with the way expensive, high quality lights work. People don't search for those videos. So Lupo, they make incredible, look at this thing, guys. So this is the Lupo Super Panel Full Color 60. I've used it as a podium light table for over a year. I've got a DOP Choice grid on it. It's a super soft panel. I've got the AC power ballast AC power bricks on the back of it right now. This whole light, if you take the AC power bricks off, it's so light. What is it, Curtis? Is it like 18 pounds for a 2x1? It's crazy. It is a niche light. It is made of super lightweight technopolymer carbon fiber reinforced plastics. And if you're going to mount a light high up in the sky, that's the one you want to use because it is so lightweight. Because of that, that light is designed to be a lightweight light. And so it's a little bit more expensive than something like, other cheap lights like the Aperture Nova, right? The Nova is $1,600. But actually the Lupo Super Panel Full Color 30 1x1 is, I think it's a little bit cheaper than that. It's like $1,500. Of course the Nova is way, way brighter. So there's once you get into that high end pricing range of lights, they start to get, to fill a niche or to fill a certain need. And that's the way I see it. I love the Lupo lights. They're some of the best. Nils says, would you expect that market to change as more people make content and start to realize lighting is a top priority? That is a good question. No, I don't see it changing at all. I think that anyone that wants to review high quality lights and has already reviewed a couple of lights and knows how and is able to show that they know how to do it should have a very easy time getting lights to review if that's what you want to do. I think that when you're creating a video like that, the margin on lighting equipment is very high. I think that if you make a video that is able to, and this actually goes true for any product, right? If you want to be in business, your product needs to have between 20 to 30% margin at least, right? If you want a healthy business. So say it's 20% margin on these lights. If your video ever is able to sell 5 lights, then that video has for sure paid for itself. There's no reason that any capable creator that it knows how to make a good looking video and give an honest opinion it would not be able to convince a company to send them something to review if that's something they were passionate about. That's just the way it is. This is advertising. Companies have huge advertising budgets. Last year, this year, it's creators. Everyone's trying to learn how to live stream. I'm live streaming. This is this year is a thing that I'm doing, but apparently in the production world, live streaming is where it's at. Everybody wants to learn how to live stream. Companies are hiring people to help them live stream, to go out and do remote live stream productions. Apparently there's a ton of money in live streaming right now. Lights are super important, and anyone that's trying to go out and create these live streams already has learned that. So lighting is going to get more popular, and anyone that wants to review lights and try and, educate their audiences about them should be able to do it. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Or do you think that would have already happened years ago, since lighting is key to everything since the dawn of movie making? Yeah, there you go. You nailed it. Akshay says, Curtis, yeah, Lupo lights are pretty good. Yes, they are. Curtis says, funny observation. YouTube went nuts when Aperture launched the Nova, but the Lupo Super Panel full color lights, which are probably more useful for a lot of shooters. That's actually really interesting. Yes, YouTube has a trend of going nuts for Aperture's lights, and there's a very particular reason why. Aperture has done something very, very intelligent with their marketing efforts. They just contact all of the top filmmaking niche YouTubers, and they sent the first models of the 120D when it came out immediately to all of them to review. They spent tens of thousands of dollars sending out lights to these companies, or it's not companies, well, in some cases, but to these creators, and immediately created buzz around Aperture being the lights, right? A lot of these companies that make these high quality niche and lights, high-end lights, even Velvet Light, right? They've got one employee in the United States. They've got a service center in Burbank, Hollywood area. It's one dude. He's awesome. I believe his name's Jose. And he takes all the inbound orders. He does repairs himself, ships them out. They're a very small company. It's like 11, 12 people maybe. And they're competing with Airy. And they've got like the rest of their employees are like in Germany or something. Incredible quality equipment, but they've got like one employee. So they've got a pretty small marketing budget. And so they can't send these giant crazy panels out to, super famous YouTubers because they'd run out of money. And on top of that, that's out of the price range of someone who's learning about lighting. That's a $4,000 light. Lupo's lights are, 1,500 plus lights. So it's already priced out of a lot of people for what they would consider lighting. So when Aperture released the 120D at $700-800, that's right at the very top end of the range that someone might consider for a light like that in the YouTube space. And so now anytime Aperture releases a product, it's extremely exciting because everyone's already been trained to know that it's going to be one of the best value pieces of equipment that exists. So Aperture's marketing was like a masterclass in how to run your filmmaking equipment company, in my opinion. Curtis says, and as bulky as that full color 60 looks, it's way lighter than the others. Yeah, it's like 18 pounds maybe. The Airy Sky Panel S60 is like 50 pounds. It's crazy. Robert says, I think people will start offloading their Sky Panels as soon as Airy upgrades their panels with the Orbiter technology. It's still one of my favorite lights and still gets plenty of production. By the way, guys, Robert has some of the most intelligent filmmaking content on the internet. I've been watching his channel, and it's just like a person that is like calling out everybody on their bullshit and knows exactly what he's doing and knows how to use a camera. Go watch his videos. He's dope. Period. So I would definitely agree with you there. Sky panels are still valuable. You know, particularly here's the thing: if you need to get 100 lights, all the same, that will work identically and are powered of DMX, and they need to be like Sky panel form factor, it's going to be the Sky panel, because they have the volume of lights available everywhere to make that happen. Aperture Nova, availability is an issue. Some people ordered months ago, haven't seen it yet. Production is, it's hard, right? Especially today. So that's the one scenario where I would say that the Sky panel would probably excel is in just plain availability. Curtis says, way light, like when I have to schlepp a light to the office. I always take the Lupo 60 and 30s instead of the Nova, which is an amazing light, but super heavy. Yeah, it's exactly. I take the lightweight lights. That's why I take the Velvet Evo 1. It's an expensive light, but it's rainproof, it's dustproof, it's lightweight, it's super crazy build quality, and it has a nice carry bag. That's why I take that one. Dana Childs, Living the Lighting Tonight. Thank you. Here we got these other angles. I don't know if you've seen these yet. So this is by the way, this is my OC monitor. I've got that powered attached with the Mars 300 devices. It's all wireless. And then we got the whiskey cam over here. Cheers. Get one of those guys. UXXV, love what you're doing, bud. Keep up the excellent work. Thank you. I super appreciate that. Robert says, I was just doing a remote interview today for Lifetime. Live remote productions is the new norm. That's crazy. I would love to see the financials behind the financials of the difference between a live stream and traditional production. Because like I said, I'm a hobbyist, enthusiast, someone who's extremely curious and fascinated by independent filmmaking. That's something that I'm very interested in. I love. I don't have the time to do it professionally, but I spend all of my free time learning about it, learning how to do it, and learning how to light. So I don't actually have truly any professional experience as a filmmaker, which is also hilarious because I will be the least qualified Red owner operator in the world, and I'm kind of proud of that title. But that being said, if you want to talk about that stuff, Robert, I'd love to have you on the stream, or just watch yours if you make one. Curtis says, agreed. Aperture is great at engaging reviewers, and now they're bringing more traditional gaffers, which is good for their higher end lights. Yeah, seeing a lot more gaffers talk about their lights, particularly like Gaffer and Gear. That guy's awesome. Very, very dry but very detailed reviews with all the information, and I learn so much every time I watch one of that guy's videos. But yeah, agreed. Chris Coveries says, do makers just email you from on About page, or is it a special PR or marketing secret handshake club? Yeah, every time I do this, they send me emails about all the new products. It's a secret handshake. No, they just email me, contact me through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and emails, which is on my About page on YouTube. That's actually the only reason I still have a Facebook, I think, is because sometimes companies get in touch with me through Facebook. Is what it is. Got to be available. Robert says, still waiting to get into Aperture's good graces. Robert, I'm surprised that they haven't already got in touch with you. You make some great stuff. UXXV just subbed to Robert. Boom, see? Look at that. Sending you subs. Well, thank you, I think. I mean, well, I guess you should thank him. I don't know. Yeah, you thanked him. Good. CineX, Robert Machado. Is it Machado or Machado? I'm not sure. Robert, one of the best sources to get your cinematography better. Agreed. I'm going to butcher this name. Joe Blumel, I think. Just out of curiosity, how do you monitor your audio from the Atom Mini? Well, I'll show you. Well, I can't show you how I audit. So here we go. Let's just do this. So you could monitor it with your computer if you wanted to using their audio tab, which you clearly can't see because that's hella far. I actually just watched the Mix Pre 3 to make sure I'm not clipping, because over here, I can do this. Let's go to this camera and turn it around. So here's my setup, right? So I watch this guy right here. This is the Mix Pre 3. I monitor my audio by looking at this one. If I'm going red, truly it doesn't matter. I'm going red or I'm screaming into the microphone, because I've got hardware limiters. They've got these crazy preamps and hardware limiters on the Mix Pre 3. Doesn't matter if you clip. It's not going to go through to the stream because I've got the hardware limiters on. But I mean, that's how I make sure that the audio is actually technically coming through. Here we go. Let's make sure this is going in. And then on the actual monitor I have back there, over there, the OC monitor, it transmits, the Mars devices transmit audio. So before I got all this set up, I made sure everything was set up correctly. I plugged headphones into the back of the monitor and I talked into it to make sure it sounded okay. And then I just muted the monitor. So this is actually what I've got going on this monitor over here, which you can't see because the 300D is covering it now, or 300X is covering it now. I see all the things that are happening on my stream. And actually, because the way I have this set up, you know, I can just point my little guy at it. Here we go. So right there. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So you can see the levels there as I'm talking, how they're going up and down. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know if you can. Let me fix that. There we go. So as I talk, you're going to see the levels, and that's actually my live stream because I have a second Mars device coming. So the first Mars device that I have is this guy over here, and that's transmitting from the A7S III into the Atom Mini Pro. The second one is going from the Atom Mini Pro's out port into the receiving port of the OC monitor, so I can see my whole live stream, so I can see if I'm actually clipping. So that's how I visually monitor my audio. And then there we go. Let's get this set up again. So I guess hopefully that answers your question. Harold says, did I pre-order the 600D Pro? I didn't yet because I blew my budget for this month on the Red Komodo and the Sony A7S III. But as soon as my next affiliate payment comes through, I will be ordering the 600D Pro. Last Tyrannus says, I have 2 questions. And then more other people commented, so we'll get to those when we get there. Curtis Judd just subbed to Robert Machado. Looks like some great stuff. It is. You'll be happy. Robert says, also Curtis Judd, I purchased one of your audio courses and noticed your daughter marched drum corps. That's so cool. I marched cadets a few years back. Well, how about that? That's pretty cool. I served in the Air Force. I don't know if that's relevant, but that's something that I did. Joello says, do you plug the headphones straight to the monitor? I plug it straight into the monitor to make sure that, because what's coming through the monitor is the actual live stream. So I want to hear what you guys are hearing. I plug it right into the monitor. He has a GH5 and Atom Mini set up for his live streams, and he keeps on struggling with monitoring the audio. Yeah, I use the OC 156A monitor. It's $1,000, $1,100 monitor. If it's still on sale, then it should be $700. It was like 30% off for a little while. Crazy great monitor. I really like it. Laster says, how many times give you a company to do a review of a product before is released to the public? Okay, so how long does it take? How long does a company give me to review a product? I determine that when I'll usually say that if a company is sending me a product and I'm going to review it, that I'll probably be able to review it within a month to a month and a half. But I never promise hard deadlines, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. And by the way, you can say no and you can return stuff. You're not like contractually obligated to make reviews if someone sends you something. You can be like, I don't want to review this, and you can send it back. Like, that's a thing. Don't stress out about stuff. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Always down to be on the stream. Hell yeah. Let's get you on here next week. And that's awesome. Cool. Robert says she marched Vanguard cadets. Yeah, cool. Just tuning into your guys' combo now. Mr. Camera Junkie, LOL. I need to learn that handshake. Oh yeah, that handshake is awesome. Drella says, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. Amazing setup. You're welcome. Cinex, Tommy, do you use audio plugins in post? I was wondering if you ever tried universal audio plugins. If yes, what's your favorite compressor for voice? So I actually made my own Adobe Audition audio preset where I basically drop all my audio into Adobe Audition. I hit Hotkey, I hit Command-Shift-T, and then it processes all of my audio the way that I want it to sound. There's a link to it, I believe, in the description of this stream. It's $10. I know of several people that are using it to process their own production work, podcasts, and other shows and other content. Everyone that's bought it has loved it so far. It's only $10. Give it a shot. That's what I use. Or don't. Wilroy Media. That's one way you can just support me if you just wanted to give me $10. Because again, it's going right back into the channel. Wilroy Media. Other than YouTube, how do you make money? I am a software architect, systems engineer, programmer, code writer. I do PHP, MySQL, and database development, and I manage offshore teams and write code. CTO, all those fancy words. It's a soul-shattering, long-hour work Monday through Friday, but it's you always get equity in these companies, so if one sells, then you can immediately retire. I guess that's kind of how it works out. Chris Caveries. Do you get to keep the products often? Yes. I no longer, and as of last year, I no longer accept products on loan. I think that is a scummy way to do business, and it's a waste of my time, and I don't recommend anyone ever do it. So if a company is sending me something to review, then it was sent to me permanently. I do not deal with loaners anymore. That's too much stress. It's just, I don't need that in my life. And a lot of other YouTubers and creators are adopting the same philosophy. Curtis Judd says, it's tough to monitor yourself from the Atom Mini through a live stream because of the latency. I usually just listen for the first couple of seconds and then take the headphones off. Yes, likewise. And when I am monitoring myself on a phone call, like when I have a guest, I usually put my headphones into the MixPre 3 before the stage of where the Atom Mini Pro sends it out. That makes it a lot easier. And it's time for a little drink. Jola says, thanks, Curtis. Been asking my audience if the audio is okay, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, of course, you always got to ask, you never know. Krishna Yala says, thanks for all the great info. Do you do a lot of video work outside of YouTube, like corporate or commercial work? No, I have never been paid for any corporate, commercial, residential work other than what you see on my YouTube channel. It is a hobby effort, period. So far, I'd love to do it full time. If it ever is able to replace my full-time income. But I did the math, and I would probably need to 9 or 10x my subscribers to make that a reality. So until that happens, it's still a hobby. And I don't have the time to go do commercial work yet. That would take away too much time from my actual career. Wilroy Media says, what tripods do you like to use? So I use a Sachtler CF75 over here for my GH5. It's holding that camera right there. I like it because there's only 2 clamps on the legs. I ordered a Sachtler Flowtech, which is an amazing tripod from what I've seen on the internet. And I ordered it in September, and it was on back order then. It's still on back order, still hasn't shipped, but I imagine that's going to be one of the greatest tripods ever. Once it gets here, I will be doing a huge tripod and fluid head showdown, similar to the previous couple of big showdowns I did, with a couple of Sachtler, I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't really care. They didn't pay me. Those 2 tripods, and then 3 of their fluid heads, the FSB 6, the Ace XL and the Ace M, and then I've got a couple of other several other fluid heads and other tripods that I'll be comparing against. Some from Manfrotto. So currently my go-to is Sachtler. I think that's got to be how it's pronounced. It's just been the best quality that I've dealt with so far. Where are we? Curtis says he likes to use the UA-LA-2A for dialogue compression. Yeah, Curtis Judd's advice is probably better than mine for audio, by the way, so do whatever he says. Dallas says, I also thought of connecting a Bluetooth transmitter straight to the GH5 headphones out and connect it to my Bluetooth headphones. No idea if it'll work out. You might have some latency, so it might, it'll throw you off. They did like tests where if you have like just 10 to 30 milliseconds of latency in your speech when you're listening, then it like makes you unable to concentrate. So I don't know. Let me know if it works, I guess. CineX is asking Curtis Judd, have you ever tried the Tube Tech? That's my go-to for vocals. It sounds so fantastic. CineX, if you shoot me a tweet, I will send you my own audio preset, and you can try that to process your audio. If it works and you want to buy it, $10. If not, whatever, just keep it. Just give me feedback. I appreciate that too. CineX, no, but with your recommendation, he'll give it a try. Thanks. Ranger7 Studios says, nice. Ever work with the cloud? The cloud, like the cloud lifter? Or do you mean like Amazon cloud? AWS? The cloud? I mean, all of my code is in the cloud. I don't know if I'm following. CineX1176, short attack and short release. You guys are talking about stuff that's like over my head now, so I'm going to skip that. Sachtler, that's what he says. All right, that's how it's pronounced from now on. Sachtler. We've learned a thing. That means we take a drink. Sachtler. Nils Codes. I'll send you a recording of how Sachtler sounds if I remember. You know what? Like I said, I'm not a professional. I can pronounce things the way I want. You can call me a cinematographer. It does not matter. Put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. No one's paying me to do this. Don't give a shit. Let's see. Duke says, hey, buddy, good evening. Hey, thanks for showing up, man. CineX says, can I write you on Insta? Yeah. Wilroy Media, wow, 39K subs and still says it's a hobby. Well, yeah, it is a hobby. And that's it. And speaking of, my wife said she is thirsty. She wants a glass of water. And I kind of want to make some steak. So I think that I'm going to go do that. Because guess what? No one's paying me to be here. And it doesn't matter. But I appreciate you guys for showing up. We're going to finish this off. And again, Aperture 300X, Sidus link. Love it. For anyone that's wondering, again, this is my key light tonight was just these pocket lights. You don't need to spend a ton of money to get good lighting. But all right, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Thanks again, guys.